The patterns, yeah, on the snow, on the ice. It was like a feather. Is that what everybody else saw? It was so unique, like every
snowflake.
Yeah.
It seemed like we'd have these little snowflakes and you could see how each one was so different.
Yeah, it was so beautiful. Just like us. So beautiful. Every one of us, like a little snowflake with our own prisms and swirls and knots. Anybody got knots? Anybody knotted up with a story that doesn't serve you anymore? Hands up. So winter, a great time to dive inside. Today, what I have in mind is to access some more inner wisdom. And if you just want to practice for physical practice, that's awesome. Hopefully you'll still get that experience, but I want to visit triangle and twisted triangle. And triangle, again, I love the symbolism. Life is meaningless unless we give it meaning. Do you agree? And so the way you perceive your environment really has an impact on you. So the triangles in life, they, like the pyramids at Giza, that is the strongest structure. It's been around a long, long time. In fact, we're still questioning, like, how the heck was this thing built? These things. There are millions, there are hundreds, not millions, there are hundreds of pyramids, amazing pyramids. So a pyramid, then we give it this story, right? This image, visualization of representing a lot of things: earth, space, heaven, birth, life, death, Father, Son, Holy Ghost. It's a strong image. So our triangle that we'll practice today, I'd like to plant that seed that it does represent a lot of triages, or pattern, triple things that exist together. One of them, you're all under the influence. Say yay. But it's, in a sense, it's not your fault, but in a sense, it is your fault. So when we have this inner wisdom and this ability to see really clearly, we can see this other triangle that's at play, which is the dynamic, the forces that kind of pull on us. Do you all have a push-pull, right? So it's Raja and Satva and tamas. And you may have heard these before. The yogis call these gunas. Remember, a lot of the yoga philosophy is for mental health. It's the foundation for a lot of what we talk now about mental health, well-being. Anyone ever felt depressed? That's tamas. There's a force that just has, this downward, and the yogis gave it an image of a slothness to us. But we need tamas. It's okay, it helps us to fall asleep. The thing is, when you have too much tamas, you don't feel like doing a darn thing. Is that true? You just want to pull covers up over your head and stay in bed all day. So tamas can be, it's not like it's a bad thing. We just want to see it very clearly. Like, I feel inertia. I feel slothfulness. And then rajas, on the other hand, is like agitation. You know what you feel like after you drink, rise up coffee, too much rise up coffee. Anxiety, right? This like, too much going on. So we do this swing. Can anyone relate to this swing? Where you feel totally unenthused, uninspired, inertia, to like, oh my gosh, pants on fire. I don't know what to do with all this energy. So that's tamas, slothfulness, rajas, agitation. The image of tamas is that of a sloth. The image of rajas is that of a bull. It's like snorting and scraping and can't wait to get. And then in the middle, you have sattva. Sometimes it's called the middle way. It's this point of clarity, and that representation is a cow. So obviously we need all three. It's not like two are bad, but you kind of want to live in the middle, right? You want to be okay that when I'm feeling down and depressed, or when I'm feeling agitated, I recognize it for what it is. That's inner wisdom. And for the most part, you want to create tools for yourself to get back to sattva, back to this place of clarity and calm. Anyone want to sign up for that? Great. So we're going to practice triangle, and I'll give you some things to think about on your mat, because this is your little experimentation lab for you to explore. Okay, so we're going to sit tall to start. Make sure you have anything helpful to sit upon to make you feel comfortable. Remember, if your body's not comfortable, you really can't arrive for your practice. I'm going to put the earbuds in for those of you online and arrange a comfy seat. Once you root your hips down, it's like putting my shoes on the wrong feet. Jennifer and Miss, can you hear me? Yes, thank you. And take a few moments though to arrange a seat that is one with care, with concern, with attention. So you really root your hips down. Draw your tailbone down. Reach that little bump on the back of your skull, your occipital ridge. Reach it up. So you want to pull a very long spine. Take your shoulders one time, bring them forward. Pull them up. Press them back. Let them slide down. If you're comfy, close your eyes. Feel what you've just done to arrange your body, to take this journey this morning, this inner journey. With your spine long, your heart lifted, relax your jaw and your face. If it's comfy, take your palms and turn them up in whatever position that you might be sitting in. So that open gesture with your hands is really, a symbol of ready to receive. If you want to take your thumb and your first finger and let them just touch lightly, it's kind of natural. And that is jnana mudra, which is a mudra of wisdom. Now start to breathe a little more mindfully. Let your belly be soft. And as you inhale, just as if you would fill a glass of water, fill your lungs up from the bottom to the middle to the top. And let it grow slowly. Some things cannot be rushed. This is a very human thing to want things to move along, to quicken up the pace. And most of the things in life that really matter cannot be rushed. They will happen in their own good time. Next time you breathe in, fill your lungs up completely, hold your breath in, stretch your spine up, and relax everything else, except for a long spine. Relax everything else. Be willing to feel. And then as you need to exhale, slowly exhale. Let your body breathe a couple of natural breaths in between. I suggest we do this kumbhak 2 more times. Make sure your spine is long, your hips are relaxed, your jaw, your tongue. Start to build dirga, deep, full breath. Filling up completely, emptying completely. Add ujjayi sound. Let the sound be just perfect to you. Where that sound is really like you're a snowflake. It's you hugging your breath. Nobody breathes the way you do. Nobody feels the things that you do. Nobody sees the world the way you do. Next time you breathe in, fill your lungs up completely. Hold your breath in. If you want to add to that an internal action, it's called Mula Bandha. It's root lock. Your pelvic floor, cinch it and continue to cinch it and pull up. And continue to pull up. It's not like you do it, check it off the list. It's a continual drawing in and up. Keep reaching up. Be willing to feel as much as possible. And when your body says that's enough, let go of the internal lock. Let go of your breath. Let go of the lengthening. Be really soft. And let your body breathe. One of the famous teachings in yoga is that I give you one secret. Whatever you want in life, you can get from this secret. It's self-observation without judgment. Start to build the Dirga breath again, one more time with this lock. This time I'm going to suggest we take our arms up overhead. So reach your fingers to the side. Notice if you touch the floor lightly here, this is a triangle if you're in Sukhasana, or maybe not even in Hero's pose. Fingers touch the floor lightly alongside. On a big inhale, open your arms wide. Let your palms touch up overhead if that feels okay. Bend your elbows if you need. As you exhale, let your arms slowly lower right back down. Keep your spine very long. We'll do this a few times. Ujjayi sound. Out and up. Full at the top, maybe a little pause at the top. Slow exhale. Keep the sound. The sound really is it's like a pathway, to deep inside. And exhale. And do the full breath one more time. Take your time to really fill, to lift, and to lengthen. And take your time to lower. Oh, the next time you inhale, stretch your arms out and up and open. Hold your breath in as you reach up. This is upward seated mountain. Pause and hold, press palms together, engage your pelvic floor. Now energy is going to build a little quicker. Watch it fully. Feel as much as you possibly can. And when you need to exhale, let go of everything and be really soft. Let your body breathe its own rhythm of breath, a couple of rounds. And then switch the crossing of your legs if you're in seated and start to walk forward and take a little support, support from your hands. If you're in kneeling hero, you can also do it there. It would be more like child's pose. And walk a little in a side bend, release through your low back. Stay with the Ujjayi sound. Move your head around a little bit. Be really curious here how you can move and to explore the back of your body. Nice. And then walk back up and take your feet out in front. You might stay on your cushion. If you're on blocks, you probably come off your blocks. Let your knees roll to the right. I'm going to mirror you in the room. So you roll to the right. And then lay out over your right thigh. So the left knee is behind you. And you kind of do that similar sort of exploration here where you can walk, to the side and out over the thigh. So a little scrubbing action. Nice. And maybe move your left thigh back as far as you can. Yeah. You can adjust the bend of your knees. So it's kind of a long bend. And then lay over that front thigh. So your belly kind of rests on your right thigh. If that feels okay, walk your fingers way out in front. Stretch and reach. So your clutch your fingerprints like a little tree frog. Nice. Breathe deeply there. Now walk yourself back up. Get a good base here. If you're on a cushion now, you might want to remove that. And it's a little like a cat-cow. So you're going to round and aim your nose towards your knee and a little dolphin dive. You slide forward and come up into a little back bend. Yeah. So it's not a ton of movement here for most folks. But explore what is available. Yeah, it's going to feel a little bit strange. Breathe deeply as you kind of dive your nose toward your knee, and then you slide forward into that, long spine and rise up. So it's sort of a circular action. Deep, full breath. Nice. Gets a little strange, but hey, we live in strange times. You could, when you lift, you could rock back and pull that right knee up off of the ground. And then when you rock forward, you press it down. So it becomes more of a rocking motion. Now that's going to give you a lot of sensation in the back hip. Adjust the back leg as much as you need to. And one more time, if you're like, that's just too weird. Watch the stories that your head's like, what? That's just too weird. And then immediately you're like, I'm not going to do that. So watch the narrative as it unfolds. And then the next time you come up, pause, twist a little further to the right, and plant your elbows on the ground. So you're in a crawling twist. Now swivel your right fist to your left elbow. Roll to your right hip and your right elbow. Stretch your left arm and left leg out really long. Yeah. So now you open up that whole left side. Adjust your elbow as you need to so it feels supportive underneath your shoulder. Roll your top shoulder back so you can kind of look up toward the ceiling. Get a good base, fidget around until you feel something that's like really supportive down below. Try to lift the left leg up off the floor if you can. And now you have a very long line from every finger on your left hand. Go ahead and circle your wrist and your ankle. Really spread your toes and spread your fingers. Ujjayi breath. Now pause, come to stillness. Spread fingers and toes spread wide. Reach through every finger and every toe like you could send sparks off your toes and your fingers. Reach so much so that it feels like you're reaching from this top waistline. Take one more very deep breath in. Hold your breath in. And feel. And then let it all out. Exhale, press yourself back up to face front. Come to seated for just a moment and feel. Sometimes it feels like a flat tire. Let your chin come toward your chest. Let your ear roll to one shoulder, chin to the chest, ear to your other shoulder. A little pendulum with just your head. Go back to the Ujjayi sound. And then let's do that little exploration on the other side. So both knees fall to the left. Adjust your legs so you have sort of this wide base. Walk out over your left thigh. Do a little scrub. Now in the background, stay with the Ujjayi sound. And so that's always your work. It is hip flexion here. So you're working to get your belly, out and over that thigh. It's a big hip opener. And then come back to kind of straddling your knee with your hands. So you walk your hands back a little bit, dive your nose down towards your knee, and then rise up. So it's kind of cat-cow, but this is an unusual cat-cow. You probably have not done it in this position very often, so be open to it. Adjust your hands so that you feel like they're just the right distance away. So they give you, again, it's a little triangle. So from your hands to your left hip is a little triangle. And maybe you can grab hold of the knee with your hands. And when you come up, you rock back and then you dive down and come nose to knee. So again, it's a little, unusual. Yeah. Take a few more deep breaths. These are excellent. And this is actually called a dolphin dive, a seated dolphin dive. And then come to stillness and twist a little further now towards your left. Walk around, walk around, walk around. Lower your elbows to the ground. Remember, every stop along the way, you're welcome to stay. If this feels amazing, you stay right here. Nope, you're good. You were going to the left, the other side, so you got to go to your right because you were facing the other direction, I remember. One more deep, full breath here. And then swivel your right fist. I'm sorry, I said it wrong. To your left fist
to your right elbow, because you're going to be on that left hip and elbow, and roll to your side. Extend the top arm and the top leg. Yeah. So now you really open up. Press into the bottom elbow, circle your wrists, circle your ankles, spread your toes, spread your fingers. Got to use that ujjayi sound. I promise it blows the dust off, takes you to deeper places. Now come to stillness and spread fingers, spread toes, drive the floor away, lift away from the floor as much as you can. Make your neck long. Lift the leg enough that you feel something interesting in the outside of your hip. Take 2 more full, strong ujjayi breaths. Next time you breathe in deeply, fill your lungs up and hold your breath in. Hold your breath in and really reach. Keep reaching and holding and pressing the floor away, and something's going to build inside. You're like, ooh, observe it and then let your breath go. Press yourself up. Come back up to table into all fours. With your knees together, stay on the outside of your hips with a tick-tock. Let your hips sway side to side. Now, if you close your eyes, if you're comfy, and feel that from the inside, and move in a way that really opens you up to, sensation. And now make your way to center. Easy cat-cow here. Inhale, chin and tail lift. And exhale as you round. Inhale as you lift. Exhale as you round. Inhale, lift. Hold your cow for a few breaths. Right? Let your chest sink toward the ground so your shoulder blades come together. And from that hug of your shoulder blades, adjust your head so your neck feels long. Lift your tailbone a lot. Take 3 deep, full breaths there so you maintain that extension in your spine and the hug of your shoulder blades. Nice. Now on your next exhale, start from your tailbone, curl your tailbone under, go in the opposite direction. Really let your tailbone draw between your legs, your ears between your arms. And now it's easy to dome your upper back up to the ceiling. It's easy to spread your shoulder blades apart. It's a little more challenging to lift your waistline up to the ceiling. Hold there for 1 more deep, full breath. Keep lifting your waistline. Nice. And then make your way to center. Separate your knees as wide as the mat. Another triangle there. Put your toes together. Bring your thumbs together under your chest. Press into your left hand. Right arm opens up and hold. Now breathe deeply here. Flex your right palm like you're pushing the ceiling away. So your left hand pushes the floor away. Your right palm pushes the ceiling away. You're trying to get your shoulders perpendicular to your hips. Ujjayi sound. Body weight's equal in both knees. Press down equally into both knees. 1 more deep, full breath. Really reach for the sky. Weave your hand through. So thread the needle, land your right shoulder. Now you're twisted the other way. Let your head rest and crawl your left fingertips way out in front. Your hips are kind of high here. Yeah, so your hips are the highest point. Breathe deeply. Use the ujjayi sound. Lovely. And continue to swirl your ribs as far as possible. So you're really reaching through your right arm. If you tent your left fingertips to the floor and like a little, spider fingers, and then pull your hips back. 1 more deep, strong ujjayi sound. Bring your left hand back in front of your nose, press up. Place your right hand center of the mat. Open the left arm up, reach and twist. So both hands are pretty much in the same position. You flex your left palm like you're pushing the ceiling away, like you're in a little box built just for you. Push the floor away, push the ceiling away, make your neck longer. Now you're not only pressing down equally into both knees, but hug the space between your knees isometrically. Strong ujjayi breath. 1 more. Reach more through the top arm. Lovely. Weave your left arm through the hole, land your shoulder, curl your right fingertips forward, thread the needle, and stay with the Ujjayi sound and feel the swirling that you've created. Keep your hips high. So if your shoulder doesn't quite touch, it's a good idea to put a block or a blanket or something underneath. Take 2 more full breaths. Ujjayi sound. If you can crawl right fingertips forward and tent your fingers for, a breath or 2. And once you suction cup your fingers to the floor, you pull hips back. Yeah. Beautiful. Bring your right hand in front of your nose, press into it, come back up, and adjust your knees so they're under your hips, hands under your shoulders. Lift your left knee out back, curl your heel to your bottom. Open the left knee to the side. Take a big circle into your belly and brush your other thigh. 3 big circles here, way out back, high, high, high to the side, into your armpit, brush the other thigh, out back, high to the side, into your belly, brush. Now this time when it comes high to the side, hold it there. Long neck, press into your right knee a lot. Extend the left leg to the side, straight leg if you can. If that's too much, bend the knee. Hold for 5 strong Ujjayi breaths. And watch again the narrative, when we're in something that is awkward, that's uncomfortable. You're not going to get any gold medals or anything. It's not like you try to prove anything. And sometimes you're like, I'm going to stay here. That would be the bull. That would be Rajas. And sometimes you're like, oh man, the side kicks again. That would be a little slothful. Hold. And as long as your body's like, we've got this, not in a proud way, but hold. Nice. And then cross your left knee behind your right knee. Scissor your feet wide apart. Drift your hips back and then pull forward. A little rocking motion. Back and pull forward. Reach back and pull forward. Do that 2 more times. And then make your way to center, uncross. That same left foot steps up to the front of your mat. This is where your blocks might come in handy. So if you want to keep them on either side. Adjust your stride first though, so that you're 90-90. So we'll come up and your front knee over front ankle, back knee under your back hip. And your blocks are just there for the next procedure. So you're standing tall. Reach both arms way up. As you frame your ears, trying to grow from this right knee all the way up through your fingertips and get really, really tall. So I would even push down into the whole back shin here. Now bring your hands to your heart into prayer. Thumbs are right there at your breastbone. Twist to your left. Twist as far as you can. Keep your thumbs right at your breastbone. Don't let your thumbs leave your chest. Thumbs and sternum stay together. Elbows are wide to the side. Press down strong into the ground. Twist as far as you can. Now bring your left hand to your low back so your fingers point down. And then reach your right arm right up next to your ear. Stretch through the right side. From your right knee to your right fingertips is the longest lines possible, and you're spiraling around that line. Look to the left. Press your hips forward, little back bend. Reach your right arm way up and back to where the wall meets the ceiling. 2 more strong Ujjayi breaths. You're still twisted. Nice. And then unwind from your twist. Bring your hands down to your blocks. Tuck your back toes under, lift your back knee. Flatten out your back foot so your right toes turn to the right. Keep the left toes pointing forward. Take your blocks on a big arc. Walk. If your left toes are at 12 o'clock, walk to about 2 o'clock with your blocks. Slide them away. Press down into your hands, pretty strong on your blocks. Keep your feet flat. So you have a pretty wide stride. Nice. Bend that front knee as generously as you can. Now continue your little walk. So bring your hand blocks back under your shoulders and continue walking to the side of your mat, wide angled fold. Fix your feet now so they're parallel to each other and flat. Keep your blocks right there under your shoulders. Bend your right knee a lot. Come back up. Bend your left knee a lot and press back up. Now your blocks are helping to keep your spine nice and long as well. Oh, beautiful. Deep, full breaths. Now take that little kind of it'll be 11 o'clock position here, or 10 o'clock. Turn your right toes to the back of your mat. Walk your blocks to that diagonal at about 10 o'clock or so. Slide them away. Sink down into the lunge as much as possible. So that right knee is bent as much as you can. Lovely. Anchor the left foot strong. Reach through your arms so your ears are framed by your arms. Press down into the blocks. One more deep breath. And then bring your blocks back underneath your shoulders. Come back up to center where you started. Walk through the wide angled fold. Come all the way around to the front. Pivot your feet. Blocks off to the side. Hands down. Step to down dog. Hips up high. Go ahead and pedal out through your feet. Let your hips wag. Smile and breathe. Try to bend your knees a little bit. Get your hips back a little further. Yeah, so your spine is nice and long. Come to stillness. Take a very deep breath in. As you exhale, lower into plank. Bend your knees, slide your hips back toward your heels, unfold into down dog. Now make this circular action as you exhale, lower into plank. As you inhale, press back, hips to heels, and unfold into down dog. Ride that circle just a couple more times. Close your eyes and feel your breath. Feel it from the inside. No sagging, right? So when you come into plank, you don't want to sag. Lovely. Head stays in line with your spine. One more time. And the next time you're up in your down dog, pause. And then exhale, lower both knees down to the ground. Knees together, hands under your shoulders, curl your right heel to your bottom, lift the right knee straight out back. Circle it around to the right, into your armpit, into your belly, brush past the other thigh. Go slow. 3 times. Steady, strong breath. These are nice. Keep your head in line with your spine. The next time you finish your 3, the right knee is out to the side. Hold it there. Try to keep arms straight and strong. Stay with a steady, strong breath in the background. Now let the intensity build in an appropriate way. Reach the right leg out to the side. Side kick and hold about 5 breaths. If you need to bend the knee, bend the knee. But notice how you are with intensity. You know, a good question to ask when you start looking at inner wisdom or self-study or self-observation is, what's my story? What's my story? You look at the drives that hold you there. Can you be there without grasping, you know, for it to be different? One more full breath. Cross the right knee behind the left knee. Scissor your feet wide apart. Hug tight, hug really tight, and then drift back and come forward and drift back and come forward. Sometimes that gets weird on the knees. You know, if you need a little padding, of course, put a blanket underneath. Yeah. Fabulous. And the next time you come forward, uncross. Now your right foot comes forward to the front of your mat into lunge. And then climb up. Now this is not the knee down warrior lunge. This is a little tighter lunge, meaning it's 90 degrees, the same way you had when you were seated. The front knee over your front ankle, the back knee under your hips. Reach your arms up. And be super tall here. Press down into the top of your left foot. Yeah, so you really feel your base. So from your left knee straight up through your fingertips, you know, I always feel like it's a rocket ship. You know, you root down into the left knee. You reach up through your fingers, send your head up between the window of your arms. And keep all that length and bring your hands to prayer, thumbs to your chest. Keep your thumbs attached right there. Spin from your belly to the right, to the front leg. Stay long. Notice when you twist, your breath usually shifts. So keep your thumbs touching your chest, keep your breath full, and twist as far as you possibly can. Now bring your right hand to your low back, point your fingers down, and help yourself to stabilize. Send the left arm up next to your ear. So now you still have that long line from your left knee through your left fingertips and the crown of your head or your spine. And you're at a little bit of a back bend. You reach your arm, your torso up and back to where the wall meets the ceiling. Your right hand is helping you to press just slightly forward with your hips. Take one more full breath. Ujjayi sound. Nice. And then come back up tall. Beautiful. Bring your hands down to the blocks on either side of your front foot. Tuck your back toes to lift your back knee. Flatten out your back foot. So when you do that little diagonal again, your feet stay exactly as they are. Your heels are in line with each other. Right toes forward, left foot planted. Torso walks to about a diagonal there. You know, about 10 o'clock if your right foot is at noon. And then you try to slide it away. You want to sink down there as much as you possibly can. So you want to, there's a lot to explore here, but there's definitely a fair amount of strength in your legs. These are lovely. And then you're working to elongate your spine. Now it gets fun. As if you're not having enough fun, float your right hand a little bit above the block. Put the right hand down lightly, 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 lightly. Left arm floats a little bit above the block. Both hands float a little bit above the blocks. Now reach like you're reaching and someone's going to grab hold of your wrists and give you traction. Softly land your hands on the block. Say, ah. Now pull the blocks back towards you. Straighten out the right leg. Walk to wide angled fold to the left long edge of your mat. This time, if you can walk your feet a little bit wider, walk them a little wider, but keep them flat and keep them parallel. Now in the middle here, go ahead, slide your blocks away again. A little like down dog, get your ears between your arms. Spread your fingers wide on your blocks, press down into your blocks and pull your hips back. Yes. Like your invisible assistant is there pulling hips back. You might even turn toes slightly in. So as your hips pull back away from your hands, elongate your spine. Nice. One more full deep breath. These are beautiful. And then slide your blocks back underneath your shoulders. We're going to the back of your mat again. So walk over toward the left, pivot your left toes toward the back of your mat. The right foot stays where it was, and you walk out on the diagonal. Reach. Ujjayi sound. So I think the more you press down into the blocks, the more you're going to feel engagement all along the sides of your body. And it helps to lengthen your spine. If you want to feel strength, play first with lifting the left hand just a little bit above the block. Now, once you lift it, you still have to reach. And then lightly, lightly, let the left hand rest. Float the right hand a little bit above the block and keep reaching and keep reaching. Nice. Softly lower the right hand. Bring your blocks back in. Come back through wide angled fold. Travel around to the front of the mat where you came from. Let your blocks out of the way. Step back to down dog, hips up high. Take a very deep breath in. Exhale, lower into plank. Hold your plank. 3 strong Ujjayi breaths. Spread toes, press your heels back, keep your head in line with your spine. Oh, lovely, lovely. Now take a breath in. Use the whole exhale to lower to the ground, softly as possible. Keep your head in line with your spine. Use your knees if you need to. Take your time to land that last little 1/4 of an inch. Oh, Stephanie, that's beautiful. And all the way down. Bring your arms long at your sides, palms face down, big toes touch. Back of your neck stays long. Press your hips down strong. Inhale, float everything up off of the mat. Exhale, lower everything back down and softly, softly touch. Do that again, wave-like action. Inhale, everything lifts up. On the exhale, lower, and you barely touch the ground. And again, inhale, rise. Exhale, lower. Keep the back of your neck long. This one, inhale, come on up and hold. 5 Ujjayi breaths. Spread your fingers, spread your toes. Now, what arises first? Is it agitation? Is it dullness? Is there clarity? Is there curiosity here? What tools can you use? At least, first of all, to see what's your story? What's your story? Who are you? What comes up when you're in intensity and when you're asked to really feel something? Do you want to move away from it? Do you move into it? Do you shut down? Softly, lower, and relax. And then really receive here. Relax completely. Because we're all under the influence, really, of neurotransmitters. It's chemicals. And the more you practice with breath and movement and sensation, the more we can see more clearly the forces and the drives behind our actions. That's what's really enlightening. Let's bring your hands under your shoulders. Press up to table into all fours. Tuck your toes, hips to heels, rise into down dog. With as few steps as possible, walk your feet up to your hands into forward fold. Root down strong through your heels. On an inhale, open your arms wide, soar out and up, little back bend. As you exhale, bring your hands home to your heart. 3 rounds, because a lot of things happen in 3s. Sun breath. Inhale, soar out and up and open. As you exhale, swan dive in, full belly to thighs. Inhale, rise halfway and lengthen. Exhale as you fold. Reverse, open arms, drive through your heels, little back bend. Exhale, hands come home. Take that again, turn the corner. Inhale, stretch out and up and gather. Exhale, out to fold all the way over. Inhale, rise halfway, ride the wave of breath. Exhale, fold. Reverse swan dive, soar out, up and open, little back bend. Lovely. Exhale, hands come home to your heart. Take that one more time. Full breath. Find a little more length, a little more opening, a little more fullness. Exhale, out to fold all the way over. So good. Inhale, rise halfway. Empty your lungs completely as you fold. Reverse swan dive. That was a good exhale. All the way up, little back bend. Exhale, hands come home. Hold right there. Samastihihi, which when your hands are at prayer, at your heart, is a place where you stand still and kind of that middle of the road where you can feel stuff moving, hopefully, a little bit of energy, sensations rise and fall. The saying that we can't stop the waves in life, right? These forces that are at play, we can't stop them, but we can learn to surf. You can be with them. All right, so your blocks are out in front there. Let's inhale, soar out, up and open. As you exhale, swan dive and fold. Inhale, rise halfway. Place your hands down. Step your left foot back. Go left. Lower the left foot flat to the floor, just like we did earlier. Climb your hands up onto your right thigh. Stretch your spine out and then rise. Minimal help from your hands. Out. Let the left arm windmill around and open behind you. Right arm reaches forward. Straighten your right leg. Now feel first this triangle that you've created at your feet. It's very important. Your feet pressed down strong right here, upright. Your body weight's balanced between your feet. Now stretch your, reach the right arm forward. You let your hips tip over and then come right back up tall. Do that 2 more times. As you reach your right hand forward, your right hip moves back and then come back up tall. So you're folding right at your hip crease. This is beautiful. Reach right arm forward and hold right there. Now there's no way you can reach your right arm any further forward. Keep reaching. You're reaching so strongly, it's from your right hip crease. Now bring your left hand to your hip for a moment. If your block is going to be helpful, put it to the inside of your right foot and then lightly place your hand on your block. I think the tallest position is a good idea for most people because the bottom waistline will stay long. Now press into your block, roll your left hip open, reach your left arm straight up. And breathe. Feel the triangle you've created now from your right hip to your right hand and your right foot. Sense the triangle between both feet. And this top arm sending due north. And now you have a bigger triangle between both feet and that top hand. Lighten up the touch on the block. Nice. Maybe the block can move to the outside of your right foot, and that might open your belly and your ribs a little more toward the ceiling. Look up. 1 more deep, full breath. Nice. Now bring your left hand to your hip. Look down at your right foot. Bend your right knee a little bit. Heel toe in with your back foot. Pivot your back foot. Bring your other block under your shoulder. Both feet are flat. You're still in a pyramid shape, a triangle shape with your feet, but now your feet are both feet point forward. Press into both blocks, lengthen your spine. Make sure your blocks are kind of on either side of that front foot, and you're trying to look out beyond the edge of your front foot and your blocks. Now, if you press into your right big toe, pull your right hip back. In fact, bring your right hand to your right hip and help yourself to pull that right hip back. Point the right elbow up toward the ceiling. Turn your head toward the right. Press down into your left block to help you to twist a little bit more to the right. Unfold, if that feels good in your shoulder, the right arm up to the ceiling. Keep the back heel planted. You might need to adjust and pull the back foot in a little closer. Both legs are straight. Both feet are flat. We'll stay here for 10 minutes. Rotate your ribs. 1 more deep breath. Lighten up the touch on that left block. And then finally, bring your right hand down. Step your feet, left foot up, forward fold. Say, ah. You can keep your blocks right there. They might move off to the side. We can do a reverse swan dive first. Inhale, soar out and up and open. Little back bend. Palms touch. Exhale, hands come home to your heart. Close your eyes, if that feels okay. And feel. With the mounds and mounds and mounds of information that we have in our modern age, and the constant assault of things coming our way, it's very hard to find clarity and inner wisdom. It's moments of stillness and breathing. We can kind of step back and have, even if it's a brief experience of clarity, you're forever changed. You're forever changed. Let's inhale, sweep arms out and up and open. As you exhale, swan dive and fold. Step your right leg back. into high lunge. Lower the right foot to the floor, flat foot, heels are in line. Climb your hands up on your front thigh. Elongate your spine. So you're not just going to push down to come up. You're going to reach out, shine out through the crown of your head to come up. And then windmill your right arm behind you. Left arm rises. Straighten the front leg. You feel your triangle at your base. So if you need to adjust your feet a smidgen, make sure you feel balance. And then left arm reaches forward as your hips tip over. And the right hand pulls your hips back underneath you and you come up. Do that 2 more times. Reach like you're going to touch the front wall. And then come back up. These are lovely. Excellent. 1 more time. Keep your arms out wide. You got this. You got this. Reach. Hold right there. Lower this arm. Yes. Beautiful. 1 more deep, full breath. And then when you're ready, after you reach and you hold, bring your hand down to your block. Put the block to the inside of your front foot. I want you to do this against the wall. So you'll turn and you'll reach right here against the wall. Okay? And then send the right arm up in the air. Got it. And open and reach and tip. Unload weight out of that front block. Yeah. Maybe you take your hand to the block to the back behind your foot. Try to roll your ribs and your belly open to the sky a little bit more. Crystal, it's lovely. Feel the expansion, yes? And everyone feels expansion here. And then look down at your front foot. Bring your right hand down. Catch hold of the other block. Pivot the back foot so that it's forward for twisted triangle. Hands are on, blocks are right under your shoulders. Toes forward. First, elongate. Stretch out like you're looking beyond the front edge of your toes, the edge of your front toes, and left hand to your left hip. Pull the hip back. So that waistline on that side is very, very long. Press into your right block as you point the left elbow up. Look to the left. Unfold. And reach. Adjust your stride as you need to. So the back foot might need to come in, tighter stance. Straight, strong legs. Oh my, Missy, it's beautiful. Barb as well, love it. Nice pan, unload some weight out of that block. Oh, and as soon as you do that, didn't your eyebrows just do funny things? I bet there were some narratives that came up when that action was beautiful. Lower your hand, step the back foot in, forward fold, blocks out of the way, dangle. And then adjust yourself so that you can have a seat in the middle of your mat. Legs out in front. Slow motion lowering. So have anything close by that you might want for your final relaxation. Take your time to roll down onto the ground. And then bring your knees in toward your chest. 1 hand on each knee. And circle your knees in 2 opposite directions. And then reverse. Let's still stay with the Ujjayi sound here. Send your legs up in the air. Shake. Everybody in the room go. I can't hear you that well. Nice. Everybody at home, I can't hear you that well. Go louder. Place your feet down on the floor. Slide your legs out long. Any poses that you feel your body's calling for, you absolutely are welcome to do any more movement. Otherwise, rest. And once you're comfy, just for a few breaths, if it makes sense to you, this is it's called a heart hug. It's used a lot in acupressure. Cross your wrists especially in corpse pose, you may have seen, some pictures. You cross your wrists just like you're in corpse, and your fingertips come to your collarbones. So your wrists are crossed right over your breastbone, and your fingertips can come to your collarbones. And just for a couple of breaths here, it's again, it's often called a heart hug, just as a way to help us anyway, calm our nervous system down and to connect to deeper layers, accessing inner wisdom. We live in a world that often tries to hijack our attention. And the yogis talked about Maya, which is illusion. Many, 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 many stories of Maya in the world of materialism. Now, materialism existed 2,000 or 3,000 years ago, but it exists to a much greater degree now. And that's where we often get knotted up, where it's hard for us to observe the true nature of ourselves, which is always at peace, which is always healthy, which is always clear. And you usually find it through breath and inquiry. And you're welcome to leave your hands as they are, or bring them down in a comfortable way at your sides, and maybe one hand on your heart, one hand on your belly. Let go now. As you relax your body into the support of the ground. And watch as your body breathes. Great counsel can be revealed by observing your breath. It is literally what keeps you alive. And your breath doesn't lie. But many things in the outer world, some are honest and truthful, and many things deceive us. So you might say that one of the greatest tools to find greater degrees of satva, or clarity in life, is just this: breath and stillness, quietude. We often have a romance with activity, striving. If that's not matched with a healthy dose of stillness and observation, then it becomes out of balance. The middle way, or the way of peace, often refers to building skills to be okay, no matter which shore you might land on. And that recipe is going to be very different for each one of us, because we're each so much like a snowflake. And it's going to be different in each context. But the two things that will almost always be there is breath and quietude. to really sense the vibrant silence from within. The same vibrant silence inside an acorn that has the entire blueprint to grow a massive oak tree. The same vibrance that's inside the sun that knows exactly how to shine, regardless of the weather. The same massive creative force that's in the oceans. And on this midwinter Tuesday, I'm going to close with a thought from Root to Bloom, from Dana Fouds. This is one I recently found and I love it. It's called After the High. She says, after the high, after the peak experience, when I knew myself as everything and nothing, when I saw through mind body as if my eyes were x-rays that could peel away the identity and the masks. After the expansion came the crash. Issues reappeared and my humanness embarrassed me at every turn. Doubt emerged again to lead a parade of difficult emotions. I wanted peace, tranquility, and bliss, not this mundane sludge spilling out to muddy my clear waters. It took a long time to tune my focus, not to absent bliss, but to the minute examination of the mud. As I dove into my most ingrained habits and conditioning and the darkest of my fears, that's when things began to shift. That's when freedom ceased to be more of a mere concept, and I began to understand the sheer power of self-observation without judgment. Take a slow, deep, full breath in, fill your lungs up. And then exhale with a sigh. Begin to move in any way that feels right to you to eventually, with as little effort as possible, make your way over to your least likely side. Notice the way you want to go, and then maybe knock stuff over as you choose to go the other way. Yeah, it takes a lot. It takes a lot of work to grow, right? To grow free of our conditioning, our patterns, our habits. It takes a moment of like pausing, and noticing, and then as you're ready, a little gratitude there. Rock yourself up to seated. Root your hips down. Lengthen your spine. Bring your hands to Anjali Mudra. And this universal gesture of honor and respect. Bring your thumbs to your heart, heart toward your thumbs as you nod your head. To acknowledge the enormity of you and your willingness to carve out time to come to your little experimental lab here to be a sage scientist, to access inner wisdom. That place of clarity where, very much like the lotus flower, we can bloom and grow from the mud and become more authentic versions of ourselves, moment by moment, awareness by awareness. So thank you so much for showing up and shining bright. We all live in love fully. Lean into our experiences. Every fiber of our being, be willing to feel it. Trust that we are exactly where we're meant to be at this moment in time, not choose to be anywhere else. Do our best, and then step back and let go. Namaste.